Hi. So good afternoon. I know that you've just watched Mr. Medley's videos on this, but I just wanted to make a very short video to summarize, I guess. First of things first, the first video you watched was a proof of sine showing that sine A plus B equals sine A cos B add cos A sine B. The others can be proved similarly, but you don't need to know about that. It was just to show you. What you need to be able to do is use the formulas. They're in the formula booklet, as Sir said. So then you're going to get into situations. So these examples, hopefully, were fine. Just using the formulas. And just to point out, if you've got cos A add B, this sign, if it's cos A add B, then you're going to have cos A cos B minus sine A sine B. It's kind of like in a row. So these should have been fine. One thing about terminology is when you have something like this, sine A plus B, to write it in this form, we would call it expanding sine X add Y or sine A add B. So if you ever asked to expand sine A add B, it means use the addition formulae. Okay, so those are okay. There's a little bit of notes that I want you to add it to at the top here. As I said, Sir's already gone through it. Basically, you really just need to be in a habit of, if you see an addition, so it might be sine x add 45, or it might be cos x add 45, or it might be sine theta add 20 or theta add 50. If it's presented to you in this way, where it's quite clearly an addition or a subtraction within the trig function, more often than not, it should just be an automatic thing, really, that it's probably expanding the function in using the formula. The relevant formulas is probably going to be what you need to do there. So it's about spotting the danger, really, and spotting the question. So these have been done. I did it in a slightly different way to Sir, actually, but I didn't times across. I didn't times the 2 across there, but it worked out okay. Okay, so then that brings me to the last part that these are just 2 points really that I would have in class made clear at this stage of the course. I think I may have even told you before, but quite an important result that you need to be aware of is that sine theta equals cos 90 minus theta. So there's this kind of parity. Sine 50 equals cos 40, sine 23 equals cos 67, and so on and so on. That's why sine 45 and cos 45 equal the same thing. If you think of your exact values, cos 30 and sine 60 are equal as well, and there's kind of does this overlapping thing. The other thing is, if sometimes it might be more subtle, and if you've got a sine 105, it might the question might involve the addition formulae, but it's not been given to you as an addition straight away. But you need to know what types of exact values are going to provide you with exact answers. So 105, for example, could be made up of 60 and 45, which we both know have exact values. 75, 60 and 15 might work. So you can't just use a lot of this stuff. You will not get away with just using your calculator. You have to have a good knowledge of the types of angles and the little techniques that we can do that are going to enable you to work with exact values as opposed to decimals from your calculator. Okay, so I'm going to set you some questions on this. There shouldn't be too many. So yeah, okay.